5 wins, 2 draws and 3 defeats on the road so far. They've lost only at Bradford, Warrington and Leeds. And a sizable contingent of Hull fans have followed them across country today to be here on this glorious summer's evening. Kieran Cunningham is the Saints captain. Victory will put them just a point behind Leeds at the top. The Rhinos have a tricky looking away trip to face London in the south of France this Saturday evening. But the Saints remain odds-on favourites to finish in the top 2, and with it a huge chance of qualifying for a 4th grand final at Old Trafford, having won at the Theatre of Dreams in 1999, 2000 and 2002. Kieran Cunningham with the matchday mascots emerge for this match. They've been bred on success here, and this year they have not seen their team toppled at home. The Saints. As I say, victory will put them just a point behind Leeds at the top of the table. Well, the two sides lining up in the middle of the pitch, because before this game, and indeed across the Super League programme this weekend, we will pause for a minute's silence to remember the victims of the terrorist bomb outrage in London yesterday.
Yesterday's events in London. We pause before tonight's game as a mark of respect for the people who died, and the many who were seriously injured. Please stand for a minute's silence in memory of those who have died.
All-minute silence at Rugby League grounds. That was impeccably observed. The match referee who timed that and who is in charge of tonight's proceedings is Ian Smith. Beautiful night, wonderful conditions, perfect pitch, 2 good sides. Great game, Steve-O.
Yeah, it should be, and I think it's the game that Hull realise they've got 80 minutes to not only prove to their fans but to themselves that they are capable of being a top side. They fell apart at the playoffs time last season. They think they can go on to bigger and better things this year. Well, they need a really good performance tonight to prove it to themselves.
High hanging kick-off from Danny Brough. Underneath it was Mark Edmondson. That's Richard Horne with the headgear, who was hounding him down, and Ewan Dowes eventually got to him. And the ball is fed out wide to Adi Gardner. Blacklock was there, and so too was Richard Whiting. Cunningham is the dummy half. Here now is Nick Fozzard. Just brushed one would-be challenger aside. Then the 2 big men came in, and Thackeray, number 15, and Fozzard, number 8. It will be very interesting. That's a great charge down by Richard Horne, and Richard Whiting's in. First try for Hull. Hull off to a flying start. It was a charge down. The ball shot up into the air. Whiting collected it, and that was a glorious chance for Whiting, and he did not fail to deliver. Hull off to a flyer.
St Helens paid the price. Not the best kick away. Great work from the skipper, Richard Horne. Just threw his body up into the air. They got the ricochet. Whiting takes to 4 points, but very slow indeed. John Wilkin took an eternity to get this ball away. There was no one at home. They were all going downfield for what they thought was a big kick. No doubt about the touchdown. Just caught the whitewash in time. What a start. And Saints and the fans here are absolutely stunned.
England international, 20 years of age, Richard Whiting, returned against London last week. He'd missed the previous 4, and he grabbed 2 tries against St Helens in May. What a start for Hull. And here is Danny Brough, the young man at the moment who is deputising for the injured Richard Swain, left-footed, but he hasn't got the legs. In fact, he hasn't got the direction. It's 4-0 for Hull.
Well, the confidence that we were speaking about there has certainly been given a kick start by this fella, Whiting. He did exceptionally well, but none better than his skipper, Richard Horne. But the message from Daniel Anderson, I'm sure, will have got out very quickly. Don't mess around when it comes to the last kick. John Wilkin has to get it away a lot quicker.
And here comes Jamie Thackeray for Hull, and St Helens look like they have been stung by that start that Hull have made. Here is Richard Horne, who's charged down, produced the opportunity for Richard Whiting. Here's Thackeray again, taking on Lyon, taking on Scott Moore, taking on Paul Anderson. Let's go to the press benches. Dave Hadfield is the man who is the spokesman for the gentleman of the press about tonight's man of the match. Well, Richard Whiting's given you an early nudge, Dave.
He is. It's a difficult night for St Helens with 7 missing, but still a top line, back line there, the first choice, the 3-quarter line, and another chance to see Scott Moore, who's surely one of the stars of the future. Stephen Kearney's decided this week he's going back to Australia after the end of his first season with Hull. He's been good for them without being quite the match-winning player we know he can be. Maybe that's still to come in the time that he's got left.
We shall see, and we shall see what that start from Hull has done to the Saints. This is Aidy Gardner. He plays the ball, and driving it forward again come St Helens in the shape of Mike Bennett.
But it's often the case, Eddie, that when you poke them in the eye, St Helens really do respond, and normally they respond with a quick try and then respond yet again within minutes.
Good tackling though by Hull on Paul Anderson. Cunningham the dummy half this time. Here is Fozzard. He gets them to halfway, and Cunningham will scoot away. Brough tried to get to him and doesn't, and that's a great ball to Scott Moore. It's a penalty though to St Helens. I don't think the markers were standing square at the play of the ball. That was a high shot anyway.
How many times does this fella do it? You see, as soon as he makes a break, Cunningham, he will make contact with a man. Sometimes, you know, a lot of coaches think that he does it on purpose and gets away with it.
Anderson charging to the line, and Hull back in numbers to force him back over the goal line. Great opportunity for St Helens to level the scores here. This is Fozzard. It's a test of the Hull defence very early in the piece now. Cunningham waits. He'll have a scamper away. He'll go himself. Just underneath the sticks, Kieran Cunningham. Wellens is there. He'll spread it to Moore, and Moore will look wide. He'll find Darren Albert. Albert comes in file to find Jamie Lyon. Here is Scott Moore again, and Moore has seen a gap.
Good defence, but good ball keeping with Saints, keeping it alive. Cunningham is off.
And this is Bennett, and he's hauled down. That was a very important tackle by Kirk Eamon. That's how close Saints are on this, the last tackle. It's back to Scott Moore, who dabs the ball to the in-goal area, and that is far too deep, and Hull have weathered the storm.
Well, every time, Eddie, you survive a chance on your line, when Saints are down there, you take that as a little win. It's a little tick in the box, you've done well. Last week, Hull made a very poor start to the game. They dropped the ball too often, they missed tackles, and they were simply slow in chasing any of their own kicks, but they've made a much more positive start tonight, and it looks as though they've learnt some lessons. You have to be up quick, you have to be set at marker whenever you can.
It's a drive forward by Thackeray, and he was pushed back and to the ground again by Mark Edmondson. The referee allowed it to go on. Here is Stephen Kearney.
Not surprisingly, Hull using the big forwards, go down the central way.
This now is Richard Horne. He gets the ball to Paul Cook, who finds Chester. Oh, and he was looking wide for Motu Tony, and he found only the touchline.
Golden opportunity just wasted there. It was a poor pass. He was in the right position, was Tony. No doubt about that, but he just sent it right across his ribcage.
Do you not think a world-class winger there, Steve-O, would have been up in that? That was a chance. World-class wingers score from those.
Well, I'm not so sure, Phil. I think that the pass was too far forward. He was doing the right thing. He was running onto the football. If it had been a perfect pass, it would have been try time.
Offside again. against Hull out wide. You might have caught a glimpse of John Keir. He was disappointed that that ball found its way into touch. But they are offside at the play the ball, Hull. And another penalty goes against them.
Well, he's got to get the message out there to John Keir that it's silly to put the pressure on, get them in a good position, and then just give them 30 metres forward, just out of nothing, just because of lack of concentration.
Willie Talau, infield it comes to Cunningham. Now it's Anderson, tries to go over the top of them. Good tackle by Kearney. And another penalty, hand in the ruck by Hull. Well, the penalty count is already mounting against Hull. That's 3 they've conceded. And the match only 7.5 minutes old.
It is part of their style, Hull. They do tease, they interfere, they try to knock you off your game. But if they keep giving away penalties like this, they're just going to gift St Helens the match.
Bennett bounces off a couple. Thackeray looks like he's up for this again. He was in the earlier match at the KC Stadium this season.
Well, what on earth is that? Well, he thought he'd given a penalty. Bennett actually thought that the referee had given a penalty. Tell Mr. Bennett out there, there's a little thing that he puts in his mouth. It has a pin and it warbles and it's called a whistle.
John, heads in. 2 runs, Richard.
I can't believe that. Look at this. There you are, we'll take the tap, will we?
Yes, Mike Bennett confused, thought that the penalty had come his way. It wasn't, so that is deemed a knock-on. This is Kirk Yeeman now. And the ball stolen, 2 men in the tackle, Wellens and Anderson. Penalty now for Hull. Let's have a word with Brian Noble. This is quite a start.
Hull look really vigorous, don't they? They're trying to have a lot of impact in their tackles, but like Phil said at the start of the show, you've got to be smart as well. 2 lacks of concentration, 2 breaks from Cunningham. Really careful with Saints. Don't invite them into your half with penalties. You've got to have that discipline and concentration. Saints won't change. As soon as they win the ground, they run. They've got the big people like Anderson and Fozzard plugging away at the middle and are waiting for any opportunity to run. Paul Wellens is playing in the half as a ball player, and that's the thing that we didn't pick up at the start of the show, but he's doing that. Defensively full back in the halves as a...
This is Stephen Kearney. Great screamer forward from the stand underneath us. Referee doesn't blow the whistle. Here is Paul Cook, and that's off the chest of Yeeman. It bounces forward, and Chester will be brought back for the knock-on.
You mentioned before the kick-off the ability of this standoff Paul Cook. Not the best pass, really. You could see that Darren Albert had picked him out. Boom. That was pretty close to being able to go for an intercept. Not happy, John Keir. Knows that a good position has been wasted.
Plays every ball, John Keir has every tackle, makes every pass, makes every play the ball. He's enthusiastic, Phil, isn't he?
He is. Don't be surprised, Eddie, the next time Hull get into that position, if Cook or Horn actually grubber through the line. More than any other side in Super League, that's a play that's been successful for them this year. They kick it through from that sort of distance and they score more from the knot.
Brian Noble used a very good adjective a few moments ago, vigorous. And it is a vigorous start by Hull. And the St Helens fans, with their team behind on the scoreboard, are baying for blood. Oh, and that ball will stand, but eventually will bounce over the whitewash. Good kick from little Scott Moore.
Certainly was. He was just a metre over the 40-metre line there. A lot of people thought he was going for a 40-20, but either way, it's great position. Pretty warm out there as well. It'll take a lot of the gas out of the tank very early. So it's important how the 2 coaches utilise their substitutions during this particular game.
Cook feeds and gets the ball from the base of the scrum, finds Motu Tony. He drives it forward. Edmondson and Wellens with the tackle.
Well, that should be a penalty. That was briefed out. 2-on-1.
It was 1-on-1, says the referee. That's why Saints have the ball play on. And Wellens is wrestled to the ground by Danny Brough. Here is Cunningham. This is Scott Moore. Now it's with Jamie Lyon. The pass out the back door. Not quite at the races then.
Well, we've seen it so often this season, haven't we, from the talented Australian centre Jamie Lyon. Loves to carry the ball with one hand and then flick it away. Just didn't get it right.
Mototoni will move it away from dummy half. Halted by 3. Lyon, Cunningham and Anderson.
Now let's see if the composure on this Saints defence can ensure that they are not caught offside.
This is Shane McMenemy for Hull, one of the unsung heroes ever present in the Hull side, one of 5 out there who haven't missed a game. Little jink from Richard Horne, he offloads the ball, and here is Thackeray. Thackeray, oh, Briscoe puts it down. Well, there have been tries of begging for Hull in the opening 12 minutes.
They certainly have. We knew that he was going to chime into the three-quarter line. Perhaps he didn't expect it to be coming offloaded by a prop forward, but that was good work from Jamie Thackeray. And again, well, this is getting monotonous to such an extent that even with only going on under 13 minutes of this game, they've given so many penalties away for offside. It's got to be a point, what we're up to 4 or 5 now, there's got to be a point where he's got to bring the captain and say, hey, come on, you're spoiling this game. And they are.
This is Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett for St Helens, inside the 20-metre zone after the first tackle. Cunningham, great ball, and he picked out there the runner, who was John Wilkin. This now is Scott Moore. There's the ball to Bennett, and there's the leveller. Well, you cannot give St Helens territory like Hull are doing with easy penalties. And Bennett over the line. It's 4-all.
Just sheer weight of possession and field position is just being eroded every time that Hull get into the opposition half. They allow in St Helens, those 4 penalties have allowed them on 4 occasions to put pressure. They've only come up with the first 4 pointed on their behalf, but I must say, it was class, wasn't it? You had to come onto the ball, suck them right in. Excellent play. Beautiful offload there, wasn't it? Scott Moore, the little halfback. Bennett accepts it gleefully. But it is a big problem. John Keir, it's just lack of concentration. It's only 1 or 2 that are coming out of the straight line of defence. You've got to talk to each other. You've got to make sure that you're all in a straight line.
Steve, I wonder whether they're putting so much focus on dominating that collision when they're having to defend that it's been the reason they've given away a penalty for a high tackle, and they've not been back on line with the referee. They're so eager to get up there and stop the St Helens go forward that they're conceding penalties as a result.
Well, Brian said they're very vigorous, and when you're vigorous, you can lose control.
Jamie Lyon, and his kick finds the mark. It just drifted over the top of the bar, and St Helens have the lead. Mike Bennett on his 100th St Helens appearance. His last start, coincidentally, was against Hull in May. And then Jamie Lyon with the conversion. It's 6-4 to the Saints. So Hull to restart. Brough with the high kick-off again. Richard Horne leading the chase. And it's John Wilkin, who of course made his name originally at Hull Kingston Rovers, in the city of Kingston upon Hull, but on the other side of the city, who caught the kick-off. And that's why Gardner will play the ball to Cunningham, who'll find Fossard. Early change by John Keir. Here is Cunningham. So important. Darren Albert wrestled to the ground by Yeaman. Lyon, Scott Moore, kick over the top. Blacklock not interested in that, allows it to bounce its way to touch. Scott Moore, 17 years of age, only his 2nd appearance of the year this.
Pretty confident play though, isn't he? We saw there the offload to Bennett that produced the first try for the Saints. He is extremely confident. He knows his quality, and so does his coach, Daniel Anderson. Certainly had no hesitation to throw him out there. As we mentioned before, you would have expected that James Roby would have taken that role. That's confidence.
Eddie, I think it's important when you're starting out in your career that you begin games well, and that's happened for Scott Moore. He's had some good touches of the ball, he's put some good kicks through, and no doubt his confidence will have just shot up because of that.
Hull in possession though here, with Ewan Dowes. Trying to make the break through the number 20, Ian Hardman. This is McMenemy again. Good, strong running from him to the 40-metre line inside the Saints' half. And now it's with Stephen Kearney. Now Briscoe, quick hands. And Lyon all over the top of the man in possession of the football, who was Gareth Carvell. And the kick over the top from Cook will bounce. And Wellens, under pressure from Tony, allows the ball, in fact forces the ball dead in goal.
Drop out underneath. Perfect kick, wasn't it, from the stand-up Paul Cook. who's again having a big influence on this match. Great position there. Just bobbled with it, couldn't take it. A slight amount of pressure, but safety first. He's had a tremendous season as this fella, Paul Cook.
Stay behind on the line. Paul, the line's your mark.
And the dropout underneath the sticks from Wellens to his opposite number, Sean Briscoe, who gives it on to Ewan Dowes. Dowes drives it forward, midway inside the St Helens half of the field, held by Edmondson and Fozzard. This is Kearney. Kearney turned over on his back by 3. Danny Brough and Richard Horn finds McMenemy. Good muscling up in defence by Bennett and Jamie Lyon. Briscoe go down centre field now with Richard Horn. There's the kick through, looking for Blacklock. Brilliantly picked up by Wellens.
Well, at one point there, I thought Wellens had overrun it. It seemed to bobble, but he had the wherewithal to certainly pull it in. There's a problem. I think it's Nathan Blacklock in the in-goal area. Yes, it is. He's certainly caught his ankle, made contact with the fullback Paul Wellens, and he looks in a lot of trouble. There you can see him in the in-goal area receiving treatment.
Yeah, I think it was a collision of either the shin or the knee by Blacklock on Wellens. They both seem to come up a bit gingerly, and Blacklock came off worst, obviously. This is Gardner.
But with the impact, you know, it doesn't do your knee joint any good whatsoever.
Scott Moore, it's a good kick downfield. This could be a 40-20. Oh, it just bounced the wrong way.
It's amazing what a rugby league ball can do, isn't it? But isn't it interesting that that man, after the poor effort from John Wilkin, sent the message out, Mr. Wilkin, you ain't kicking no more, Mr. Moore is.
Hull in possession, trailing 6-4 on the scoreboard. They've had a few chances though, Brian Noble, haven't they, Hull? And they have put a few of them down, sadly, for the Hull point of view.
Well, I think Briscoe dropped one when they had a clean break on up the middle. They managed to create pressure with their last 2 sets, and Richard Horn, who's done it because of a fantastic play from Paul Wellens, but they still weren't in St Helens half.
Well, how's that come about?
Well, he just lost it. The tackle hadn't been completed, and it just slipped away.
This is Scott Moore now. Stephen Kearney was just standing around waiting for a penalty to come for a steal, a 2-on-1 steal, but it didn't. This is Mason. Looks like Hull just dropped the ball then, and there are plenty of tackles left here for St Helens. Cunningham! And Cunningham releases the pass, but Hull have got it back.
Well, he's disappointed with himself. Cunningham knows that he's wasted an opportunity, that he's just a little bit overexcited in trying to push it through. This is where the ball came away. Now, to me, that was certainly stolen. Willie Tallow certainly dragged that ball, and there was more than one man in attendance in the tackle. That should have been a penalty.
Here's Shane McMenemy again.
Surely that was ripped out by the centre Tallow.
This is Kearney. Last tackle though for Hull. Good defence on show from Saints. And Horn crossfield, but straight into the arms of Darren Albert. Not the best thing to do. There's a phalanx of blue shirts ahead of him though. Albert is dropped 10 metres inside his own half.
Good refereeing by Ian Smith there. He could see that Chester was in front of the kicker, and he was yelling at him to stay away, and Chester did the right thing, make sure he's within the 10 metres.
0-0, Salford witness a vital match for those two at the bottom of the table. And here's another penalty for St Helens. That's the 5th that Hull have gifted them.
It's just a flop. I'm not so sure. Stephen Kearney looks at the official and says, well, you know, Danny Brough was in there. He's confused with John Keir.
Charging forward is Edmondson. I must say, Phil Clark pointed up the wicked penalty count that Hull have got against them this season in the build-up to this. This is Mason, just held up short. We'll maybe get Phil's view on that again in a moment after we see how this attack develops, because it's now with Wellens, and Wellens just hangs on and delays, takes the tackle. That's tackle number 3.
Will we see a step from Scott Moore?
Well, here he is. Passes the ball on the deck eventually to Mason, and then wide to Willie Tallow, and Tallow attacking the corner, brings Aidy Gardner in. Gardner then Hardman keeps the movement going back to Mason. They go back that way. It's with Gardner again. Gardner into Scott Moore, and Chester gets to him and stops the youngsters' progress. They lost a bit of ground then, the Saints.
He's lost the ball as well.
It's a knock-on. Phil Clark, this penalty count against Hull, as you said in the pre-match build-up, it's not good from their point of view.
No, and it's just worth pointing out, it's not because they're a dirty side. Most of those penalties aren't for foul play. They're more for, obviously, holding down and indiscretions, which I know are obviously illegal.
Technical infringements.
Yes, I would say that's probably the best way to describe it. But it's really going to kill the side if they continue in that manner. Generally, penalty counts tend to even themselves out towards the end of the game. I still see St Helens probably conceding fewer than Hull, but they've got no chance if it continues at the present rate.
Richard Horne finds Paul Cook. He takes on Wellens, who stands his ground, and with help from Bennett, he's brought down. Here comes Gareth Carvell now.
Some big
Carvell
hits.
up quickly, plays the ball to Chester. Now it's Ewan Dowes.
Just saying, Eddie, there's some big hits going on out there. John Wilkin, the loose forward, really put himself about there, threw the shoulder into it.
Richard Horne's gone for a 40-20 here. And the Bennett ball just bounces wickedly, but it's in the in-goal area. Horne leading the chase. Gardner, he's pushed him back. Is he over the... No, he isn't. Whiting might have been penalised there, actually, for a second push, Richard Whiting.
Well, it appeared that way.
Eddie, I think there's a bit of leniency. If they think that the ball carrier actually just dives to the ground and doesn't really make an effort in that, the referee will probably show a little bit of leniency. I think the defender, the man making the tackle, has a chance to really push him back some.
This is Mason now for St Helens. That's the last tackle. Good set of six from a Hull point of view. Wilkin with the kick right down the middle of the field. Blacklock looks like he's recovered from that bang he got earlier in the clash with Wellens. And that's the shout from Ian Smith there, surrender. He says that Nathan Blacklock surrendered to that tackle, and that's where the tacklers are giving a little bit of leniency by the referee. Whiting now for Hull. Oh, dangerous.
Oh, silly play. Just lose the plot there, just slip the arm on the inside of the leg, then lift him. That's horizontal, not allowed to do that. Looking for Richard Whiting, he was let down a little bit lightly than what they normally do, but silly play by Mark Edmondson.
So Hull have a little piggyback now into the St Helens half of the field, courtesy of that penalty.
Now will they do a straight link right across and see what Paul Cook can do?
This is Paul King, and now it's with Stephen Kearney. Oh, Carvell was greeted by Keith Mason head on. Richard Horne, Paul Cook, Chris Chester now. Back it goes to Cook, and Cook has got Cunningham all round it. Chester waits at dummy half. Carvell will drive the ball forward. Back it goes to Chester. On the bounce, it finds its way to Danny Brough. This is Richard Horne, and Saints muscle up and watch more. Force the error from Richard Horne.
Great cover defence, but a lot better by John Keir's men. A little disappointed there as the skipper Richard Horne, but they've got themselves into it, and what a tackle there. Mason just went right across the chest. Carvell felt it. He just cannot believe it. Just right, maybe to offload, just under a lot of pressure.
Richard Horne, I think, claiming that the ball was stolen from him in a 2- or 3-man tackle there, but the referee would have none of it. Vigorous, Brian. It's a great word you've used. It describes it perfectly.
They're not dying one to another. They're both getting into each other. A lot of controversy in and around who's controlling the ball and who isn't. I certainly believe that the responsibility is with the ball carrier. But Hull are certainly not giving this away and managed when they've got to St Helens end of the field to apply a lot of pressure. Just coming up with a couple of basic errors there. But with St Helens, Bill Clark mentioned it, concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. Whether it be penalties or plays, you take one off and they get you.
Here comes Fozzard. Straight up the middle, he only knows one way towards the post. Nick Fozzard to the other end of the field. This now is Scott Moore. He just jinks away from a couple. Great footwork from Moore. Wonderful run, but his tackle, that was on the last. And maybe there a little bit of inexperience showing.
Well, it looked pretty, but no one really dropped back to help him out. They all stood about and saying, OK, what are you going to do? but they should have had the experience to get into a position and say offload, we'll get the kick. It looked pretty, but it's not good.
Danny Brough to Stephen Kearney again, who flicks the ball back to Richard Horne, and Horne went back with all the heavy traffic, was stopped by Fozzard low down. Now Carvel.
They've done some good work as a whole pack. They really have got over that advantage line.
Blacklock with a kick, but brilliantly fielded by Jamie Lyon.
What a take.
Some soccer teams looking for new goalkeepers this off-season for them. Here's a little instance of the way he could maybe switch coach, Jamie Lyon. And another penalty goes against Hull. This time for a high shot.
It's a ploy that St Helens have utilised for many, many years, not just through Kieran Cunningham, but they know when they've got the defence on the back foot, quick play the ball, they'll deliberately run at the man, and they scream, the crowd screams, the referee said, I've got to give the penalty.
Mason will drive the ball forward on this, the first tackle after the penalty. 6-2 in St Helens' favour.
He lost that.
The penalty count.
He lost that. It looked for guidance to the touch judge here on the near side, did Ian Smith. But I thought Mason juggled it, lost it.
Well, Hull did as well. They stopped. Here's Mason again now. They looked at the touch judge asking for, and they did lose it. You're absolutely right. This is Bennett, and Bennett to the line and haul back. Well, if they get over the line for a try here, there will be an element of controversy about the score. They won't worry the Saints. This is Moore, and Moore gets the ball away to Wilkin. Here is Talau. It's Fassavalu, I beg your pardon, just on. There he is. He plays the ball to Wellens, and Wellens will stab the ball towards the in-goal area. It's picked up by Briscoe.
Great position by the fullback. We mentioned before the game started.
Penalty now for Hull.
Well, how long are we going to go? I think it's frustrating the game. Brian, I mentioned before the kick-off that this Hull side, they'll irritate you, they'll become pests, they make you get off your game plan. They've certainly done that, but they give so many penalties, and now it's Saints that are copying.
I don't know if there's an element of evening up there, because the touch he certainly missed a knock on.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ian Smith fell a little bit under pressure with that set, but you've got to take your hat off to the whole defence. They've been on their line on several occasions now and being pressurised, and they're coming up with the plays, and that will keep them in the game. And the longer in the game, the more they'll believe with people like Horne and Cook around to open up the Saints' defence.
Carvel to Cook acting halfback. This is Horne and McMenemy now. Can't get that ball away, under pressure there from Talau, from John Wilkin. Cook, up it goes in the air, looking for Motutoni. Claimed though by Darren Albert. Tackle not completed, now it is.
Well, if you jumped out of an aeroplane without a parachute, you'd want that kid underneath you, wouldn't he? He wouldn't miss you. What a take by the winger.
Fassavalu. He scored the only try at the KC Stadium in the 44-6 defeat for St Helens. Referee shouted held. Well, the referee shouted held. It should be a penalty. He's put the scrum down.
For what?
Well, he shouted held. The ball was released after he shouted held. It should be a penalty.
Yeah, you're right. What's he put the scrum down for?
Then you've no chance.
Well, someone should have a word with the referee. This should be a penalty to Hull.
Listen to the crowd underneath us. They are having a word to the referee.
That's a penalty, says John Keir.
Of course
right.
it is, and they should have taken the two.
This is Yeaman.
Movement!
I don't think 2 points will win them the game from here, though. They're going to need a few tries, Steve, on the rest of this match.
This is Paul King now.
Well, the way both sides are scrambling in defence, I'm not so sure, Phil. I think you want to get points on the board at any opportunity.
In a match that's as tight as this, Steve-O, you could be right.
Yeah.
6-4. It's Paul King now. And King trying to go through Bennett. Still no score at Salford. That's tight after just over half an hour. And it's tight here as well. 6-4 as Richard Hall tries to jink away. Gets the ball to McMenemy. It went back to Briscoe. Crowd is furious. Referee's right.
He's got it spot on as the official.
Cook will dab the ball to the in-goal area. Albert's there. And Albert is over the touch and goal. It's a goal line dropper. Listen to this crowd.
Good work from Motutoni. there helped along with Kirk Eamon. It was an absolutely beautifully weighted kick from Paul Cook. And the message is getting out to both these sides. Dodgy ball. When it spins around, it can go either way.
Well, the referee was right with the decision on the ball going backwards off McMenemy. Here is Briscoe, and he has given it to Thackeray.
Get off him, John!
Bruff. And McMenemy charges forward. 20 metres away.
It looked to be just a fraction in front there. And you always get that with the flat ball in attack.
Briscoe, back it goes to Cook. Good feet from Paul Cook. And hauled down by Mason. Blacklock to King, who will charge his way towards the line. Good defence from St Helens again. Blacklock, back it goes. Oh, and wildly from Cook to Briscoe. They've lost ground here, Hull.
They've got to go for the kick into the corner. They've tried a few grubbers before. Get it up in the air.
It's a dab through though by Horn. It's easy that for Paul Wellens.
Well, it's such a good positional full-back. That's why it's a bit pointless putting the grubber through. They tried to before. Oh! It's going to get tasty now.
Danny Brough on Eddie Gardner.
That was a real swinging arm, but oh! King's lost his cool. The King's getting the Queen's. Oh, it's all on.
And it's a knock-on. It's Tony, who's hauled down by Darren Albert. Danny Brough will give it to Richard Horn. Richard Horn gives it to brother Graham.
Well, if they score here, it'll be a controversial four-pointer.
McMenemy trying his luck up the middle, but the St Helens defence muscling up. It's Danny Brough. It's Paul Cook, who gives it to Thackeray. Great defence again, Lyon and Fasavalou.
Boy, it's tough out there.
Cook. No way through. Anderson and Fasavalou again. That's the last tackle.
Surely they'll give it air this time.
Brough to Richard Horn. A dab through, looking for brother Graham. Oh, and Hardman does well.
Just checking the early downward pressure from this man here.
Was the downward pressure from Whiting?
Well, I don't think so. The look on his face from Graham Horn virtually tells me that there's, or is it Whiting coming through? It is, it's Whiting.
It's off Hardman though, it'll be a goal line dropout.
Yeah. He did well, didn't he, Hardman, to get to it in the first place. Boy, he was close, was Richard Whiting. But what's Hardman? He wants to find out how to restart it. Oh, it's hard to say.
It's Hardman who got the last touch, I think, and St Helens are lined up for a goal line dropout.
Well, it's
now they're moving forward.
It's the first touch that counts, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, that could be him as well.
It's not the second touch. If it's Whiting touches it first, it's a knock-on. So therefore, it'll be a restart on the 20.
Goal line dropout.
The minute, though, that it's taken to make that decision has been a massive bonus for St Helens. This, I think, is the third goal line dropout inside the first half, and it really has given them an important rest period there now. You could tell that they were blowing hard.
5.5 minutes to half-time. Goal line dropout taken by Wellens to halfway. Briscoe's underneath it. Thackeray has hit it at pace.
What a great run. That's rugby league at its best from the forwards. Take no prisoners. Give it to him.
Great ball from McMenemy to Briscoe, but great work from Jamie Lyon in defence. Here is Cook. Now it's with Chester. And Chester almost through, but Cunningham inevitably with Scott Moore. Cook to Horn. Horn to McMenemy again.
I just can't see St Helens hanging on.
Salford ahead against Widnes just before half-time, 6-0. Cook. I beg your pardon, Richard Horn.
Oh, they were very slow to get the dummy off. They missed the opportunity. That's a turnover.
And look at Paul Wellens clapping every one of his teammates. And look at John Keir.
Well, he's not clapping, Eddie, because of the fact that there was no one there at dummy half to fill the ball back for someone to put in a kick. Oh, this is going to get tasty. Message to Ian Smith out there, take notice. Otherwise, we're going to have a riot on here.
Another penalty against Hull.
Well, that was innocuous. From what we have
Steve, it was offside, I think.
Out wide, I think so.
Was it? Well, thank you for that.
Can somebody get his tablets that he's getting
Well, I just can't believe it.
His blood pressure's going again.
This Ian Smith is allowing everything. There'll be helicopters going next.
10 penalties, 7 have gone St Helens' way. Roby. Ian Smith's having a devil-own job to keep a lid on this. Cunningham to Wellens. He got the ball away brilliantly, as did Hardman to Lyon. Lyon back to Hardman, and Yeaman gets the tackle in. 12-0 Salford now. Here goes Cunningham. Now it's Lyon. Flick ball. Darren Albert just couldn't get over the whitewash. Cunningham. They watched that, but he got it away to Lyon. Danger. Try. Or did he drop it?
He'll go to the screen, don't worry.
Did Jamie Lyon drop it?
His name's a trade just like ours. Yes, he dropped it. This will be no try. They're not going to give that. No way. There is no way that they can give this. It has been lost well before it gets terra firma.
Steve Presley is the man who is in the video box watching this.
No way can they give it.
It actually came off the defender's knees, didn't it? The defender's legs as it was being touched down there.
Well, this is where he loses it here.
There.
Yeah, it's no try. Well,
That's your opinion, Steve. Presley's the man.
If it's given, my hair will grow back tomorrow. It's no try.
The players have decided it's no try. They're lining up for a 20-metre restart. Steve Presley's word is law. What does he say? He agrees with you. No try.
Do you know what I did? That's just a typical example of what St Helens do to you. Hull have pounded their line for 5 sets, and all of a sudden then they try scoring opportunity at the other end. Great football from the Saints.
Thackeray gets the ball away to Danny Brough, who finds Richard Horne. Richard Horne then to brother Graham. Graham Horne gets it away brilliantly. Here is Briscoe. Cut down by Lyon. Paul Cook. Chester. Yeaman. It's a terrific game. Chester. Danny Brough. Richard Horne. Takes the responsibility himself, takes the tackle, tackle number 4, this set of 6. 2.5 minutes to half-time. Paul King. Oh, that bounced off Jamie Lyon. What's the referee saying here? I think he's saying play on.
Yeah, it has, because the ball played the man. The ball hit Lyon, so that's play on. Does not go back to 6. It's got to be a good kick.
Whiting with the kick. And Gardner with work to do. And does it.
Fantastic. Well, that was a good effort from Whiting. A few seconds before that, he was receiving treatment in back play. He got a real knock. Boy, this is a tough one.
It's compelling viewing at the moment, isn't it? Two sides going hammer and tongue at each other. And Wilkin looking to milk the penalty. Referee saying play on. This is Gardner.
Well, he just stamped all over it.
Cunningham. This is the danger zone for Hull, though. St Helens can hit you from anywhere at this stage of a half.
And that's the operative word, hit. Boy, there's been some big ones.
Last tackle here, Scott Moore under pressure from Cook gets a good kick in between Blacklock and Briscoe.
That's tremendous stuff.
Now then, Briscoe to run the ball back. A white wall has arrived. Blacklock from dummy half. Into the last minute, 6-4 to St Helens. Motu Tony pounded down by Mauri Fasavalou. Brough, and this is Graham Horne. Thackeray.
Oh, they're looking. Every time he gets the ball, they're all lining up to get to him.
Needs a good kick from Horne. It's an up and under. Wellens is after this. Wellens has claimed it. Look out, Hull! Look out! 30 seconds to the half-time siren. St Helens in possession. Ask Warrington what they can do in this position. Cunningham is hurt in back play as Lyon takes it through Tony. Is tackled by Kirk. Up it goes from Wellens. And Blacklock allows the ball to bounce. And there's the half-time siren. And a breathless, vigorous, entertaining, compelling first half comes to an end. Salford have scored again, I'm told, at the Willows against Widnes. It's looking bleak for the black and whites there. But here at Knowsley Road, the Saints are ahead, but only just a whistle. Paul Wellens kicks the ball. We're underway. And let's get down to the sideline because Bill is with injured Hull star Paul McNicholas.
Paul, that was a fantastic 40 minutes from Hull from the effort point of view, but it's going to take even more in the second half, isn't it?
Definitely. I think we showed that we can match them down here. You know, I don't think we've won here since 1988, so it's going to be a big ask for the boys, but I think they can definitely do it.
The problem is Saints' defence has been just as good as yours.
Both defences have been pretty good. You know, there hasn't been a lot of breaks made out there, and I mean, it's going to come down to who holds the ball with the possession of the ball.
Yeah, you should imagine there's a few complaints about the penalty count in that dressing room, aren't there?
No, everything's okay. We don't worry about the ref, we'll just worry about our own game, and if we do that, you know, win the wrestle, slow St Helens up, hold the ball, I think we can come away with a win.
Confidence in the Hull camp then, mirrored by Paul McNicholas. Great take from Wellens from Bruff's high kick, and this is Gardner tackled by Shane McMenemy. Interesting fact about John Keir, he is searching for his 50th win as a first-grade coach here tonight, and it's quite a ground on which to look for that sort of milestone, isn't it? When you haven't won here for 17 years. That is if you're Hull, not necessarily if you're John Keir.
Well, I feel pretty confident about it. They certainly matched him. If they can keep their discipline good. Remember, early in that first half, they gave away so many penalties for offside. They sorted that out, and they forced St Helens into a roughhouse game. I think Daniel Anderson, for Saints coach, will have said to them, look, we don't have to prove how tough we are, we've got to prove how good we are, and we've got to get this ball out wide very quickly, get it away from the forward area.
Scott Moore with the kick downfield, and that will skip away, but not dead in goal, so Briscoe has to run it out. He gets underneath Roby, in fact he gets underneath Willie Talau until he got hold of his ankles. Here is Nathan Blacklock now. Blacklock, 14 tries. He is 5 behind Keith Senior of Leeds, who is Super League's top try scorer this year so far. And Hull in possession in the all-blue strip tonight with Paul King.
Both defensive have been on top. We saw that in the first 40 minutes, and you just get the feeling that it's going to be a breakaway try, a long-distance effort. Oh, that's a poor one.
Yes, far too deep, the kick from Danny Brough.
But at least they have the opportunity, and John Keir, the coach, realises that they can all line up and take this ball from the 20-metre line. Oh, a bit of a mistake there. I don't think Anderson realised he was going to get that ball.
Gardner with a good, strong, robust run from dummy half. Wilkin, infield it goes to Scott Moore. He finds Maury Parsivalou, makes a little half break. Back it goes to Kieran Cunningham. That's Willie Talau, but he knocks the ball forward.
Play on is allowed the advantage. That's good play by the referee.
Because here goes Blacklock, and he's away from Roby, but he can't get away from Wellens.
Good job as well. There's only Wellens there between him and the try line.
That's Cook.
Oh, what a tackle.
Great tackle from Scott Moore. McMenemy. Chris Chester showed it backwards. Had to take the tackle in the end from Jamie Lyon. And Motu Tony takes tackle number 3 this set of 6. Danny Brough. McMenemy. Richard Horn. Showed it to Graham. Took the tackle himself from Talau.
Oh, he's lost it.
He has.
Well, he shakes his head in disbelief. Oh, it looks as though there was definitely arm in there. Danny Brough certainly interfered. See better from this side. Yeah. He squeezed it out.
Roby over the top, but Horn has got to hang on to it. It is his responsibility to hang on to the ball. Oh, that's a wicked pass. He's done all right, though, has young Ian Hardman. Got out of trouble then.
Eddie, Hull have definitely started the second half as the better team. For some reason, Saints look a little flat. They're looking for an individual break from somebody to get them started here now in the second phase.
Maybe it will come here in this set of 6. That's 3 tackles gone. Well, I said at the start of the match that this is their greatest chance in 17 years to break the duck on this ground.
Well, last year these sides met in a Challenge Cup game, which was an absolute thriller here. In the end, Saints were just too good for Hull. Paul Sculthorpe's experience at the end of the game was the difference. Now, without players like Paul Sculthorpe and Sean Long, maybe, just maybe, it's going to be Hull's night.
Maybe Wellens with the angle kick, looking for Gardner. Blacklock says to Briscoe, you take it, and then Briscoe gives it to Blacklock, and away he goes, but Wellens hunted him down.
Tremendous play by the full-back. Wellens just got the kick away, put the backspin on it, made sure he got down there quickly, put all his teammates on side.
Phil talking about last year's Challenge Cup match between these two. There's another one coming up in a few weeks' time in the semi-finals, and one of these two teams will be going to Cardiff for the final.
Well, it's his first mistake, Thackeray. He got through a ton of work in the first 40. He just took his eye off it. Had a little look there, and he could see that the big fella Mike Bennett was lining him up. So he thought he'd put him on his backside. Not so sure that Bennett would take too kindly to that. Now, we haven't seen much three-quarter play from the scrum base from either side.
This is Wellens now for Saints. He's chinked inside. Important tackle from McMenemy. And McMenemy concedes the penalty for the second push.
They'll shove it into the corner. I don't think we're bothered with 2. They want to put the power, and they are. What a kick. No doubt about it. McMenemy, second bite.
So, great opportunity for St Helens with Roby. Roby pumping the legs. Oh, the ball's come out. Stolen.
Quick tap, surely. Or will they take the 2?
Well, Hull were all offside then. They were all in front of the goal line. As Fozzard drives it in again. Here is Cunningham. And Cunningham looking to split them open on his own. 4 of them it took to pull him back then. Scott Moore's the dummy half. They go wide and find Wellens, and further wide to Hardman.
Great
and
defence.
The Hull defence muscles up again. Cook with the tackle.
Man on man, they're picking them out as well.
This is Scott Moore. Here is Nick Fozzard.
Ooh, that looked high from King. That'll go in the memory bank for Fozzard.
Cunningham to Scott Moore. Looks left and finds Wellens. Further left and finds Tallow.
Oh, did well to hang on to that.
Last tackle here for Saints. 10 metres away they are. Roby and Wilkin drills the kick in. It's picked up underneath his own post by Paul Cook, who did really well to get over the goal line.
Tremendous. Took the ball on the half volley, then sidestepped the post. Look at this. Oh, great stuff. Put his arm around it. Take your partners.
Eddie, we were looking for a turning point in the second half. That drop ball from Jamie Thackeray's just changed the whole complex of the game. Over the last 3 or 4 minutes, the pressure now really applied to the Hull side, and they've got to dig deep to survive this period and get to the other end of the field.
Here's Thackeray. St Helens flying in the tackles. They've only made 28 metres in that set of 5. This is the last one. And McMenemy gets a great kick in, actually. It goes over the head of Gardner. Stops 5 metres from Gardner's own goal line. And the chase is pretty good, led by Graham Horn. But some very valuable metres gained forward by Gardner then. Here is Wellens, steps inside. Whiting wafted in, but Hardman hauled down by Danny Brough.
Good tackle by Brough as well. Ball and all, couldn't offload it.
This is Wilkin. Wilkin up the middle. Thackeray gets to him. Cunningham making good ground. St Helens here. This is Fozzard. Great ball to Bennett. Even better to Lyon. Even better to Darren Albert. Important tackle won there by Cook. Lyon to Moore. Moore will grub at the kick, looking for Wellens. Now then, Wellens might have scored.
He has scored.
He believes he has. And Briscoe's head hits the deck. Did Sean Briscoe ground the ball is one question, and did Wellens ground the ball in time is the other.
Instead of grounding it, he tried to scoop it over the dead in goal line. He's made a big error. All he had to do was just dive on it. Why on earth did he just dive on it? But ball dead in goal, and this is TRY time. There is no doubt about that, and you can hear the crowd. They're watching the same replay as you are at home, and Saints have stretched their lead. It is a big error from Sean Briscoe. He had all the time in the world. It was only one of his own men, which was Richard Horne, that was anywhere near getting to that ball. And I'm afraid the fullback Briscoe has paid the full price. It's 4 already, but surely. Watch for the TRY and listen to the crowd.
Paul Wellens, that's his 80th try for St Helens. And unbelievably now, tries in 5 consecutive home meetings against Hull.
Neat kick there from Scott Moore, but that is the wrong decision, I'm afraid, from Sean Briscoe. Watch Briscoe here. All he has to do is throw his body on it. A, no one else can score it. When you try to scoop it, it's bad enough trying to scoop it when you're stood on your feet, not when you're driving through. Bad error.
A tale of 2 fullbacks then. Briscoe with the error, Wellens with the try, and Lyon from bang in front will surely now increase the lead. This for 12-4. 12-4 it is. St Helens stretched their advantage after 10 minutes of the second half.
It's easy in hindsight. It was a great kick. But the big mistake from the fullback. Not good. He's been solid up there to that point. And Wellens poaches one. There you see it. No one within cooing. Maybe he thought that he had a St Helens player, not Richard Horne, close to him. But surely Horne must have been shouting, just dive on the football. Safety first in situations like that.
Roby escapes the net. Graham Horne halts him, and with help from Carvel and McMenemy brings him down. This Roby is a real talent.
And he's a very deceptively strong player. We look at him, just basically the frame in comparison to other players on the field. You wouldn't think that he'd be able to break through tackles and even drag defenders 5-10 metres when he carries the ball. I mean, his defensive work as well today, he's been very solid whenever anyone has come at him. They do have a great reputation at this club here over the last few years of developing through their own youngsters, and another one on the field there making his debut in Paul Clough tonight.
Yes, indeed, and the man who just put that kick in, Scott Moore, is another one who's developed through the ranks here. They have some great talent at this club, and Paul Clough is on the field, as you saw.
He plays with such confidence, doesn't he? Halfback Scott Moore. It's as though he's been playing Super League level for 3 or 4 seasons. Still not overhauled.
McMenemy to halfway for Hull on the 3rd tackle, and gets the penalty.
He's got one back. McMenemy about another 6 minutes that gave away a silly one itself.
Phil Clark is often criticised for using the phrase "he won a penalty." McMenemy won that penalty, Phil.
No comment, Eddie.
Back foot, John.
Here now is Motutoni, and Gareth Carvel to drive the ball on.
Off him now, clear the rocks, line!
Motutoni to Richard Horne, quick hands, oh, he went without it. Here's danger, it's Jamie Lyon for St Helens. Too quick for all of Hull. Jamie Lyon for Saints under the sticks. And has the air gone out of the Hull balloon?
It had to come. All that pressure in the first half, all that defence, a long-range effort would have to come about. The error, they were under a lot of pressure, and Jamie Lyon gleefully accepts it. Wonderful rhythm, nice style. He knew he had the legs. He knew he could not be caught. That's the price you pay when you play that very flat pass. Paul Clough, and look at him looking at the crowd saying, give me some encouragement. They certainly did. What a buy this guy has been for this club.
World class, Jamie Lyon. and he has already said that he wants to play in the Tri-Nations for Australia at the end of the season. And with a stat like that, tries in 6 consecutive games, why shouldn't he? He's just scored the try. He's got enough puff left to take the conversion, and this is going to be 6 points for Jamie Lyon, and maybe the end of the road for Hull. 18 points to 4.
We often speak about the ability of Paul Cook when he does that flat pass. He's got a great pair of hands, knows how to control it, but it was just a touch too high, and it was very, very fast indeed. Both sides have been using that flat pass way out in the centres. Some have got away with it. We've seen a couple that Willie Tallow, the second half, have already juggled.
And it won't surprise you to hear that Saints have scored more tries from their own half than any other side. That's a combination of the speed, but also the speed with which the players react. As soon as the ball started to go to the floor, you could see in the eyes of the Saints players, chance, here's a chance, and they react just that bit quicker than their opponents.
It was a high shot from McMenemy that has again relieved the pressure on St Helens.
Well, he shakes his head, but there's no excuse to it.
Hey, Stephen!
Penalty count is rocketing. It's 10 for St Helens. It's 4 for Hull. And that could be another.
He said it's across the chest.
Try telling young Paul Clough that. Well, they now have the sniff of something. 22-0 Salford ahead of Widnes.
And he can put this down, you know, to a wonderful effort from the prop forward, Nick Fozzard. He's gone looking for work. He's taken them on. He's sucked in the defence and given them the opportunity for the rest of his side.
24-0 now, Salford. Scott Moore. Up it goes. And it comes down in the arms of St Helens, Paul Wellens.
This is the last. They'll go for the kick, surely.
Moore, it's a great kick. Bouncing everywhere. McMenemy gets the ball away. And how on earth did they manage to get out of jail there?
Wonderful play there. Richard Whiting
Did so well.
Put his body on the line. Good work from the prop forward as well. They're into it now.
Well, with the crowd behind them in full voice, the team playing at full throttle, it takes a very special side to stop the Saints. And what will they do next week against Wigan here live on Sky Sports 1 at 7:30. 75-0, remember, last time they met in the Cup. Hull against Huddersfield is next Saturday on Sky Sports 2 at 6, and we have a special for you next Sunday, the Northern Rail Cup final. It's Castleford against Hull KR. It's at Blackpool. We're all off to the seaside, and it's Sunday afternoon. That's next weekend. We have Wigan Warrington tomorrow night. Right now we have Hull trying to battle their way back into a match at Nosey Road with Motu Tony.
Two hands off Kieran.
They got a chance their arm now.
Richard Horn to Paul Cook. It goes wide to Yeaman. Scott Moore put him under pressure, got the ball away. Edmondson got the tackle in, importantly as well. Here is McMenemy. Good driving from Shane McMenemy.
Who's lost it?
Penalty.
Get a friendly interference.
Referee shouted twice, hands off the ball.
Fozzard had hold of the man as well. Well spotted by the official. They've got to tap it, they've got to go for it.
It's with Carvel. This is a test of the St Helens defence now. We know how flamboyant they are in attack. That is Ewan Dowes. They're pretty big in defence as well at Saints. Don't worry about that. A major challenge for Hull to get over the line. Motu Tony. Motu Tony trying to burrow his way over. That's a wasted tackle.
Certainly was. They'll try to get it out as quick as they can.
Kearney is there. Bullets the pass to Richard Horn. Goes wide to Paul Cook. Back to Nathan Blacklock. Wide again. And they're in. They are in the shape of Kirk Yeaman, Hull. And hope does spring eternal for the men from the KC Stadium.
Well, we knew they had to keep the ball alive, and that is exactly what they did. This was superb play. Wonderful inside pass there. Paul Cook to the winger Blacklock, and it's in. This is sensational. Watch the inside pass now. And what? Oh, it bounced off the head. Well, can't believe that. Bounce off the head of Scott Moore and dropped very nicely for this man, Kirk Eamon. They will not be arguing, but we said they had to chance their arm. They whipped the ball around, and that has put them back in the game.
Well, Paul Cook has this for his 50th goal of the season. And how important would it be to the whole cause if this would slide over the top of that crossbar? He's a kicker of some quality, this fellow. Recently signed a new 3-year extension to his contract at Hull. And he's kicked it. It's a terrific kick from Paul Cook. It's 18-10. Brian Noble. It is not over yet, after all.
Game on, I think they say, in sporting parlance. They were winning the arm wrestle, St Helens. A couple of errors, Thackeray error, as Phil pointed out. Then the error in attack invites St Helens in their own half, and it looks like they've gone away from you. They look on the front foot. Now it has a different complexion. The police back with Hull. It's really important they look after the next couple of sets and get down and establish some more field position.
Hull will try and work this ball up the other end of the field if they can with Ewan Dowes, but Paul Clough and Nick Fozzard greet him in the tackle. Tony gets it away to Carvel. Carvel, good drive again.
Eddie, we've got a great last 20 minutes here now, because Hull become a very dangerous team to play against. They're just 8 points behind, last quarter of the game. They've got nothing to lose, and I think that sometimes you saw in that last try, there's more a relaxed attitude when they are attacking the opponent's line. We saw a little bit of tension and anxiety in the first half. Now they prefer to offload, find a man in support, and they become real hard to defend.
And this is Briscoe on the burst, and he's got Paul Cook. Oh, he released the pass. He should have held on to it, really, taken the tackle.
Complete panic there, and I think Briscoe has come up with an injury.
Yes, he is down. He is in need of attention. And St Helens want to exploit it. That's Gardner.
And they're down to 12. He's prone on the ground is the fullback Sean Briscoe.
Off the head of Hardman. And Hull will have the scrum because they want to get Briscoe patched up and back into the match. It's actually off the shoulder of Hardman. I don't think we've heard from Brian Noble yet this half. Much, have we?
About 30 seconds ago.
Well, I said much.
Briscoe, brain explosion of the highest order there. He wouldn't mean to do that. He's looking for the try for Hull to keep them within 2 points. Great break, great football to get him to that position. He probably, if he looks at the tape, he'll want a little bit more composed about what he did there. But it's great to see him back on his feet and back in the attack for Hull. Hull, like Phil says, are relaxing a little bit well, and they are dangerous. The last 20 minutes they can score points. It's all about releasing Richard Horne.
That's right, you said game on in sporting parlance, didn't you?
Glad you remembered, Eddie. And the fact is that they've got plenty of time.
Eddie, we've not heard from Brian for a while.
No, Brian. Right up the middle. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it, this age? It's Motu Tony, and now it's Richard Horne. And here they come in the shape of Dowes. They're gaining momentum, they're gathering in confidence again, Hull. And Cook will hoist a kick, angled. It's well claimed, though. Oh, that's good defence. That's terrific defence from Hull. It's a goal line dropout again.
Tremendous stuff. Just wrapped him up.
Well, they're claiming that Kirk Eamon effected the tackle with him in the air. He certainly didn't.
No, he got it exactly right. He waited until his left foot hit the ground. Oh, they wrapped him up like a turkey at Christmas, didn't they? Absolutely tremendous. And the nerves will start jingling in the old brain box of this St Helens outfit. They thought they had it won.
John Keir nervously watching from the front row of the main stand here. Briscoe to Dowes. Dowes drives it in, the Welsh international.
John, back it up, Willie.
It is a job that
the England international, Ewan Dowes. Dearly me.
I'm just saying, Eddie, that the coaching job is something that makes you older, isn't it?
9, 2,
very quick.
Hands off, Darren. Go.
This now is Cook, and here is Carvel.
They're buoyant, you know, Hull now. They smell a real good chance here. He's lost it there. Never played it correctly.
Well, they never do. Here is McMenemy, tries to step out of the challenge. It's a great tackle, though. And here is Kearney. And Kearney coming back this way, offloads to McMenemy. McMenemy looking to give it width, but thought better of it, because that's the last. This is Motutoni. Now it's with Richard Horne. Paul Cook again. Wide it goes. This is Chris Chester.
Very close.
So close, Chester. That's the Saints try line.
Great work from Scott Moore. Absolutely superb. The turnover shouldn't have come out 5 metres. The turnover was put there virtually on the try line. Great defence. Moore, Albert put themselves with their bodies on the line. They had to as well. Now then, this is a point where Hull just, they've got to concentrate.
Roby, fed by Farsavalou.
If a try is going to come, it'll be a long-range one.
Farsavalou again, infield to Wilkin. Wilkin to Cunningham. And Cunningham has got Wellens with him. Wellens dumps it over to Lyon. Lyon wide to Albert. It looks suspicious. Back it goes to Lyon. And Hull get back in numbers on the last. Last one. Wellens, infield to Moore. Now it's Wilkin. There's the kick from Wilkin. Will Briscoe make the same mistake? He doesn't have to, because Yeeman comes to the rescue.
Wonderful little chip, wasn't it? Across the face of the defence. Oh, great stuff from John Wilkin there. Good job that Kirk Yeeman was alert. Oh, this is a superbly weighted effort, isn't it? Briscoe was in the right position, as you would expect when they're coming down the left-hand side.
First Hull goal line drop out of the match. Makes it almost to halfway. Wilkin, Farsavalou. That's good hounding by Ewan Dowes. Cunningham, Fozzar.
2, here, Paul Cook. 2, Hall.
Cunningham again. Edmondson.
3, right side.
Big test of this defence now. Widnes clawing their way back into the match at Salford.
4, Matu, hands off. Matu, hands off. 4.
Great little run there from Scott Moore. And Hull come up with it. Paul Cook again.
Not the best kick there from Kieran Cunningham, under a lot of pressure. Really should have been left to one of the specialised kickers. They're still not out of it, this Hull side.
2.
That try from Yeeman has given them that lifeline.
3 tackles gone. Saxton plays the ball. This is Kearney.
Boy's been a bruiser. Rowe did well there, went right down onto the thighs.
Good run from Motutoni.
Got him in a good position. Got to get it high into the corner.
Richard Horne. Paul Cook, there's the kick. High it goes, it's a reel up and under. And Cook is after this. It's bounced off him, finds Carvel. Still the last. Well, they had 3 men on the overlap wide then, Hull. And Carvel couldn't get the ball to them. Scott Moore is brought down by Chester.
I get the impression that both sides are out on their feet.
Oh, they'll be shattered. It's been played at such pace.
Yeah. Bruising encounter right the way through, and this is where maybe the heads might go down. If the next team who scores, they'll be filled with confidence. This has been one heck of a battle.
Farsavalou trying to drive it forward again. That's the last one. Great set here for Hull. Willie Tallow. Are they going to run it? No, it's with Wilkin. Wilkin gets the kick in. Briscoe positioned himself for it, picks it up. He's on his own though, Briscoe. Takes the tackle from Edmondson. Paul Cook comes in at dummy half. It's now with Tom Saxton. Saxton, the fresh legs. Bit of enthusiasm for Hull. Over halfway.
Having big problems is Sean Briscoe. They've taken him off now.
Richard Horne.
He's struggled over the last 5 or 6 minutes. But they know he's becoming a liability. They've got to bring him on.
Motutoni and Gareth Carvel. Danny Brough. Infield to Cook. Here's Richard Horne. Oh! Interception! And it was was an important tackle that by Paul Cook on Scott Moore.
Well, Scott Moore, did he dive to the ground? That's what Paul Cook was screaming at the official. Said he made no move to bring the ball back into play. He just dived underneath Cook. Could have been a penalty. Voluntary tackle.
This is James Roby.
We don't see many of them.
Talau. Good tackling by Whiting.
What's this? Does he commit himself? That's a dive.
Wilkins ball in field to Wellens. It goes wide to Fozzard. Further wide to Jamie Lyon. And Albert just lost his footing at the last moment and the vital moment. Wilkin is down injured. Scott Moore with the kick. It's a cross-field kick looking for Gardner. Blacklock's underneath it. Blacklock claims it.
It bobbled.
Claimed the tackle from Talau as well.
John Wilkin is the man receiving treatment. It's a wonder that all of them are receiving treatment. Willie Talau got a knock in the face.
They will find it tough getting out of bed in the morning.
John Key is probably praying for a penalty here because Saints have been very effective at preventing Hull anywhere near the try line in the last few minutes. They've controlled the ball and they've kicked it quite well, so they can't quite get close enough to get within striking distance.
That's 4 tackles gone. No way through for Richard Horne. Danny Brough is gone for a 40-20. Oh, and he's pushed it out on the full. That's a mistake.
It comes about by being tired and the pressure within this game. A little bit of sympathy offered by Jamie Lyon. I'm not so sure that it'll be accepted from the Hull players and John Keir.
Come on, John. John, get your.
I must say that this Hull,
2 hands.
2 centres, Yeeman and Whiting, their defence has been superb. We haven't seen hardly anything of the skills of Talau and Jamie Lyon.
Hands off. Movement, Shane.
30 points to 12. Salford beating Widnes. They've got 11 minutes left there. We've got just less than 10 here. This is Scott Moore. Now it's with Fozzard. Cunningham, great ball to Jamie Lyon. Good tackling again from Paul Cook. Here comes Fozzard. He'll trundle it forward. Thunderous challenge from Kearney.
Hey, Paul.
Cunningham scheming at the play the ball. Oh, and Scott Moore. The ball was just dipping in front of the youngster. And Kieran Cunningham, I think, will be the first to admit it was not the best pass.
Scott, ball, please.
It was a shocker. Simple as that.
Quickly get formed.
The experience to the lesser experienced player. Nothing you could do about it.
Time off.
Fozzard is receiving treatment on the far side. That's why the referee has called time off. They want him in the scrum. Here he comes.
Have you stopped bleeding?
He was doing more than receiving treatment. He was bleeding a bit, was Nick Fozzard, but then that's just part of the course for him. Kirk Yeeman, whose tries breathed life into the whole challenge late on. Sean Briscoe's off injured. Bill, what's the story?
The word from the Hull bench is that Sean Briscoe's picked up a knee injury. He's heavily strapped, ice on that injury at the moment. They don't know how serious it is, but really would be a big concern if it was something that was going to keep Briscoe out of the picture for a while, because he's a major contributor to, of course, this whole side. John Wilkin has come off for Saints. He's got an injury to the side by the look of things. He's had treatment for that. I have to say, it's amazing that those are the only 2 casualties so far in what has been a ferocious contest.
It is absolutely ferocious. Last tackle here for Hull. They're on halfway, and Cook will hoist a high kick.
Boy, that's got some height on it, hasn't it?
Wellens fumbles and fumbles, but gets away with it. He was facing his own line. Okay, come on, who's going to win it? Brian, who's going to win this match now?
St Helens, I think. That is Hull. Their best kick chaser, Sean Briscoe's off the field, the best bloke that gets on the end of half breaks. We've not seen too many half breaks from Hull in the last 10, 11 minutes. So they've got to get the ball to Cook and to Horn a lot, and they've got to try something different now. It's got to that stage in the game.
That's a great run from Farsabaloo. Phil, where's your money?
Well, I don't really believe it, but I'll go on the 100-to-1 shot. I'll back Hull.
Here's Anderson. Anderson trundling forward. Steve-O.
Oh, it's Saints. They'll control this, don't worry.
Scott Moore's kick played at the man. This is Wellens. He's got to get the kick in now and does. Not the best though. And here comes Motu Tony. A great tackle from Roby. From Keith Mason, beg your pardon.
He's got through his work. Look at that.
And he's at it again.
Tenacious tackling. That's what a coach looks for, you know, when in the dying minutes of a game, when it's hard, it's rough and tough. A lot of players running out of gas. I don't know how some of these players are standing, especially the forwards. Boy, they've given it to each other.
That was Mason again. That's 3 out of the 4 tackles he's completed this set of 6. 30 points to 16 at the Willows for Salford. Horn with the kick downfield. That will skip 10. The kick from Richard Horn.
Yeah. Well, they were most effective with the high kick. We've seen 3 over the past 5 or 7 minutes to put pressure on this St. Helens side. And I think Saints are quite happy to just trundle along, plate save, kick and chase, and just hang on to this 8 points.
That was a heck of a collision between Paul King and Paul Anderson you've just seen. King has come back off the canvas though. There he is, number 10, over the top of Keith Mason. Cunningham to Fozzard, the head now bandaged.
That was high. I must say that the one thing that has been a feature for me is that both sides have proved to me that they can tough it out. This has been a great effort from both sides.
Well, Fozzard's still bleeding.
He's had a great game as Fozzard. He's put his body on the line.
Scott Moore drills the kick. But back will come Hull again in the shape of Tom Saxton. Bang! Cunningham stops him. Cunningham hounding him to the ground. 5.5 minutes to go. Pulsating contest. McMenemy.
This is where they're going to take the gamble, maybe the chip over the top, just a little one, or maybe the high bomb. Going to just try to force that pressure.
Kearney gets them to halfway.
You're out of it, Paul!
Penalty. That's what John Keir was looking for.
Straight in the corner, get on with it, don't mess around. He was very slow to move away from the play the ball area. That's the reason why Ian Smith, the official, given the penalty. You cannot interfere. Once the ball has been played, you've got to go away from it, not interfere.
Back it up, Paul Anderson.
Well, if Hull score here, we're in for a great finish. Thackeray. Back it goes to McMenemy. Here is Richard Horn. They go wide. It's a Paul Cook. Back then it goes. And here is Graham Horn. Gets the ball away to Motu Tony. No way through for Kirk Yeaman.
There was no support there. He was looking. It felt like an eternity. All it needed was from the second phase. He was over.
Thackeray again drives towards those St. Helens posts. Only the second tackle. Danny Brough to Richard Horn. Short ball off the elbow of Kearney and gobbled up by Aidy Gardner.
Superb effort that from the winger. It may look as though it just dropped in it, but he made sure that he wanted that ball. When it first started out, it was a 50-50. He made sure it was 70-30.
Right, all you need to do is when you get home, have a look at the video, you're right around his chops.
Yeah.
When you get home, says Ian Smith, look at the video, you're right round his chops.
Yep.
The referees in this game don't mince their words.
And it's very, very sore chops, I can assure you. Not the type you'd have with 2 eggs, that's for sure.
11 penalties St. Helens have had, 7 Hull have had. We're in the last few minutes of the game. And, well, it might be just too far for Hull now.
Yeah, it's up the jumper time now, and St. Helens know it. That maybe is the one thing that Daniel Anderson, the new coach, has brought to them. King went high, Mason went looking and said, who was that?
And Danny Brough asking for a knock-on that didn't come. Here is Cunningham. Now it's Roby.
Will they make my day and go for a 1? It'll eat up the clock.
Wellens trying to shrug Richard Horn off. That's the last tackle. Well, will they? Don't think so. No, it's Scott Moore, whose kick finds touch just to eat up the clock. Right, it's a devil's job to find the man of the match tonight, I think. Dave Hadfield, who is it?
It's been a tough old game. We've thought that Richard Horne and Jamie Thackeray in their very different ways have worked particularly hard. Scott Moore has caught the eye with some really classy touches, as well as a few things that betrayed his inexperience. But it's a game that's been won by defence and by opportunism, and the man who's shone in both departments, we think tonight, is Paul Wellens.
Paul Wellens then wins the Tissot Watches man of the match, gets that tackle in on Motu Tony. Richard Horne, Thackeray. Oh. Woof. What a battle that's been between Thackeray and Fozzard.
Well, Fozzard wants to change shirts before the final whistle.
It's Paul King. Oh, McMenemy puts the ball down and backs it forward in frustration.
That had a huge red cross on it, and McMenemy knew it. He will not be thanking Mr. King for that one. They had him lined up, and he knew it.
St Helens will close the gap then on Leeds at the top of the table to 1 point, and Leeds have a very difficult assignment in the south of France tomorrow evening against the London Broncos. It is bubbling up to quite a finish in the Engage Super League 10. Roby feeds the scrum, shoots out from the base of it as well. Can Saints send their supporters home even happier? Oh, it's a knock-on. And now it's a penalty for back-chatting.
Get away. Well, young Roby lost control of it, and then a few words were spoken to the official. And it went backwards.
Keep your discipline to yourself.
So can Hull send their supporters home even happier? Thackeray drives it in.
Just over a minute to prove, but I think they know it's a bridge too far.
Oh, King and Mason, that was a bit of afters from a few minutes before. Richard Horne, McMenemy, the runner is Whiting, and the tackle by Hardman. Well, without 6 regular first-teamers and a 7th in James Graham, who's played his full part in the season so far, this has been a hugely encouraging performance from St Helens. As McMenemy looks for something on the 4th tackle. That's the last. Here is Richard Horne. Wide to Cook. Wide to Horne. Forward. Forward, says the referee Ian Smith.
Well, it deserved it because it was superb hands. Very quick indeed. But the one from Cook, just off his shoulder, certainly went forward. And I think Mr. Keir is somewhat disturbed.
Frustrated, I think.
Yeah. It's been one of those games, hasn't it, that they've had the opportunity. You know, John Keir will look at the tape and say, in the opening 15 minutes, they had 3 clear-cut chances to put points on the board.
They were gilt-edged.
Yeah.
There's the full-time side.